everybody, it's Kate Richburg. Welcome to Friday, my friends. We made it. It is Friday, February 7th, and it's time for Free Tip Friday. I hope you all have been having a good week. We've been having a busy week over here, per usual. So today, what I thought I would do, I'm going to sit down. There we go. Let me sit in front of my little... I should turn this right while I talk to you. Today we're going to work on the year-end wrap, which is going to be fun. There we go. Let me style this. You know how it is in the background. It's like you see it and you're like, wait a minute, I got to fix that. So now it's fixed. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So we're going to work on the year-end wrap. We're going to work on that today. I've got that laid out here. The theme for this weekend, my friends, is relax and create. I don't know about you folks, but I need a relaxing weekend, right? I feel like you need it as well. I can just kind of tell. I can tell, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to relax this weekend. So I urge you to take a look at some projects maybe that were left over from previous years, 2024, 23, 22. I have things here from pre-pandemic. And, maybe you might even want to free yourself and cut some of those old projects up and return those beads into your bead stash. I'm just saying, just giving some advice there. And I may take my own advice. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, good, Emily. I'm glad I'm not the only person. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Janice is here saying hello to everyone. And everyone is here, which is great. Janice said, run away and grab some. JP, if you have orange juice, I've got some coffee. So we're all here. So we are ready to go. Orders are rolling out. So, hey, I wanted to let you folks know we're actually super close to being caught up again, which is great. It was, so you know how we update on the homepage, right? What's shipped, what's shipping, and we print out all the orders, we look at them, we put them all in order, we do all of that. Well, I put them all in the pile. I put the 27th on top of the 26th. So I'm sorry. I thought when I posted everything yesterday, I'm all, yes, 27th. That's great. Well, now Miranda and Chris are filling. So we'll be through with the 26th, through with the 27th, deep into the 28th. And also all of your monthly mixes and stuff. I'm going to start looking at February 1st, getting those monthly mixes out. And I know you all are waiting for your little quilt swatches as well. So they're cut and they're packaged up. They look super, super pretty, if I do say so myself. So apologies that I actually had those two dates out of order, but what are you going to do? We're working as hard as we can over here. So apologies about that. What else is going on? Janice showed the lookbooks. We're going to highlight the lookbooks in tomorrow's newsletter, so you'll see that. Something that was highlighted in today's newsletter, let me get over there, here it is, that leather, specifically 1.0, 1 millimeter leather, is marked down an extra 10% today. You can see that. So that markdown means that you can combine it with our Love 10 coupon, with your rewards, whatever. But that was a little extra for today because the 1 millimeter is what I'm using for this year-end wrap. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the leather. We're going to talk about sizing it and everything. It's going to be good. I also wanted to share with you a couple of other things. Later on today, at 1:30 my time, Pacific time, I'm going on live with my buddy Jen Cushman, who runs these fantastic retreats. I went last year and we did a bead retreat. This year we're doing a sewing retreat. I am wearing the shirt, one of the shirt in the style that we're making. If you go over to Soulster Retreats, you'll hear more about it. But it's also it was in the newsletter. It's on the homepage, so you can get more info about that. If you don't want to pick up and fly across the ocean to hang out at a bead retreat with me, you can also hang out with all of us, Janice and I, and we're hoping for a return of maybe some friends. That I wanted to put out a save the date for August 15th through 19th. It is our 7th year. We've been doing this since, I believe it's 2017, but we missed a couple of years during COVID. So I'm just calling it our 7th year. Sign up info is coming soon, but I wanted you to save the date. It's in San Juan Bautista, California, same place. We've got an extra day, my friends, to bead this time. So the 15th of August is a Friday. You get there on Friday. We're going to bead that Friday evening, that Saturday, that Sunday, and that Monday. And then you'll leave on Tuesday. So I booked us a full extra day. If you haven't been to our bead shop bead retreat, it's good times, my friends. We hang out. We're kind of tossing around ideas for this year's retreat. So if you have any thoughts or ideas and you want to join us, put them in the comments. I'd love to see what you'd love to learn at a retreat. But we've got some ideas brewing. It's really fun. We have such a good time. The place is so peaceful. The accommodations, while a little rustic, are also nice and quiet. It's at the San Juan Bautista St. Francis Retreat Center. So it's just out of town, very near where I grew up. The food is amazing. We have treats all day. I have treats. Last year I made cocktails for everyone in the evening. That was good time. Some of you remember that. Some of you who were there remember. Raise your hand if you'd like your 5 o'clock beverage. It was fun. We had a great time. But we also have non-alcoholic options as well. I don't want you to think that all we do is bead and drink, because we do so much more than that. We bead, drink, and eat. So we have a great time. But anyway, so that's coming up. Let me flash that one more time. Whoops, so you can see that. There it is. So if you're thinking about coming, it is going to be a little more expensive because we have an extra day. And we asked former participants, because when we're ready to leave on Monday morning, everybody is super bummed. And they're like, oh, man, we just need one more day. So I got us one more day. So the cost is going to be a little bit more than past years because, of course, costs have gone up anyway. But we've got that extra day. All rooms are private. You don't have to share rooms with anyone or anything like that. So more information will be coming soon, but mark those calendars if you want to join us. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there are any other comments here that we need to look at. There we go. Nope, it's looking good. And Stemhilly, a very happy belated birthday to you. I saw it was your birthday on socials. Happy birthday, my friend. Let's see. Who else have we got here? So we're good. All right. So let's take a look at what we're going to be making today. Hey, Miranda, can I ask you, I just need a piece of copy paper, please.
Sure.
And the tape, because we're going to make a template, not unlike we did for the last prairie wrap I did. No, the regular tape. We're going to make a template. And I'm going to size this wrap with my little template kind of thing. So let me add this camera in. There we go. Oh, it's the paper. I'm like, why isn't it showing anything? It's because I put the paper down. Let me put my glasses on. And let me move things around just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, we've been having a good week here. At the old bead shop, just things are moving right along. We, as always, are appreciating your support through our little bit of, kind of crazy times, but, we're working our way through orders and getting everything out to you as quickly as we can. So we always appreciate you folks. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and make that solo layout there. Let me take another bracing drink of coffee. Let me also, I'm just seeing this. Hang on. Let me take this off for 1 second. Hold on before we get to that. I don't want to forget. My buddy Lisa Kelly, over at Beaducation. I'm just going to screenshot our little chat right here and put it up on the board. You folks know our buddy Lisa Kelly, right? Lisa has been, I used to be her education director over there at Beaducation. She used to teach for us when we had Bead Shop Brick and Mortar. She's been friends with me a long time. So we chat. And the other day when Emily was on, remember, she called. So I answered the phone. It was really fun. Anyway, she texted me earlier, and I want to put this up right here. She has been collecting beads from people. She's gotten a lot of donations, and she was getting tools for people who lost their homes in the California fires. She said she put out a thing to have people send her donations for stampers who lost it all, and she got a ton of beads as well. Okay, so she doesn't need more donations. She needs places to send them. So if you know anyone who lost their home jewelry studio, you can reach out to Lisa, and I'm gonna copy her email right here. But she's doing a great thing. It's really nice of her to do this. So I'm going to copy, and you can get a hold of Lisa at CS, which stands for customer service, at beaducation.com. Let me put this here in a banner so you can see it. But I know quite a few different, organizations or whatever have been collecting tools and stuff, but Lisa has a ton of beads. So if you know some beaders who need to replenish their home studio from the California fires, please reach out directly to Lisa. Don't reach out to me because I don't have the beads. Lisa's got the beads over at Beaducation, but let her know that you saw it over here on the Bead Shop Friday Live, and you can contact her that way. So thanks, Lisa, for doing that sweet stuff. So that was great. Okay. And if you have any ideas for it or whatever, you can, just go ahead and contact Lisa that way. All right. Let's get this. All right. Let's get to our wrap. Now, if you'll remember when we did the prairie, we had a question about placement for the decorative elements for that prairie wrap, right? And so what I did was I created a template that wrapped, and you saw, and you can watch the broadcast, go back and watch the broadcast. It was really fun. But we wrapped it, and we use this as our template to kind of wrap to figure out where all of these little sections were going to lay, right? So the year-end wrap, I've been working on it. This was the original broadcast, I think, was around the 3rd of January. So this one here, I started this section. Now I'm doing the latter section with the delicas here. Let me get my my little tape measure. Here it is. I got it. I knew it was here somewhere. I just had to put my eyes on it. Oh, no, I got it. So what I've got so far is a little under 10 inches, right? Like this or so. So I'm going to make a template because I'm not sure. I think I want this to be a 3 wrap, I think, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a template like we did for the prairie. So here's my piece of paper, my just a piece of copy paper. And I'm going to cut a strip like this. And so if this paper is 8.5 by 11, if I cut 2 strips like this, I will have 22 inches, right? It's going to overlap a little bit because I'm going to tape it, okay? But 22 inches is about a 3 wrap, okay? Because my wrist size is about, for me anyway, so my wrist size is about 3.5 inches. And when I want the wrap, I need a little bit of extra space. So I like my wrap to be about 7 inches or so. But 22 inches gives me just a little bit of extra space, especially if the wrap is wide or tall, or, wide or wide either way, right? Has larger beads. But these have pretty skinny beads because they are, I'm using the Delicas and these 4 millimeters. Okay. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to tape this down like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here, let me take off my watch and get all of this. You can see where I've been wearing my watch. I'm going to wrap this kind of around. It's a little cumbersome, but right. So we can see where this is going around. Okay, like this. So that will be 2, right? So that'll be 2 complete wraps about right there. I need a little bit of extra space. Okay. So now I'm going to wrap again, and here's my 3. Now we just got this, in case you're wondering, this one is called the Year-End Wrap. It's called Mocha. What the heck is it called? All of a sudden it's out of my head. Hang on. I put it on the homepage, I thought. Year-End Wrap, if you click on it, it is called Mocha Mousse, right? The color of the year, of course. And so we are using this new henna colored cord that we got in, and we just were able to restock it. So we've got it in for you folks. And as I say, the 1 millimeter, the entire 1 millimeter category is on sale today only. Let me get back here. Okay. So here, and I'm going to come in, and about where I want it to cross over is about here. Okay. So let me unwind. Let me put this end to my template right here. Okay. And yeah, look, it's almost right on. Perfect. So I am going to mark out, let me turn this here. Let me get a pen. So here is like my beginning right here. Okay, so this is like where my snake knot is, right? I need a pen that I can just, here. I need to write on something that's a little stiffer, like that. There we go. Let me get a pen that's a little, okay. Let me also get a little tighter in here for you. There we are. All right. So here, about right here, is the snake knot. And about right here, that's where the macrame is. So this is the 4 millimeter, that's the 4 millimeter beaded section. I'm just going to write here. It's the 4 millimeter Fire Polish and Pony Express. Okay. So here, from here to about, I'm going to wrap this around. Okay. And I'm going to see where it's going to hit, where I want it to go. Okay. So let's put this over here. Let me zoom out. And I'm going to wrap. Let me kind of put it kind of close to me so I can see what's up. So I'm going to bring this to the top. I'm going to wrap this around. So this is about where I want to end. I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I want these to line up here. So I might pull my laddering back to about right here. Okay. And then let's see where we are. So I'm going to lay this down here. That's where that macrame is. So I have about this much more to ladder. Okay. So this is the Delica laddering, right? And I'm using micro. And I'm using traditional laddering. Right? Not infinity. Okay. So now I've got this much left to work with. Okay. And I think what I want to do, and I still have this, my little shadows left. Okay. So let me see what that length is. I'm going to need about, I need about an inch for the closure. Okay. Right here. So this is going to be my loop for the button. Okay. This maybe here will be some macrame. And this here will be some macrame. Okay. Then from here to here, looks like I've got about 8 3/4-ish about. So I'm going to just visually say about right here, maybe here. This is where I'm going to transition. So this is going to be Bollywood. And I'll show you for those who are new here and don't know all of our bead shop terms. This Bollywood is essentially a beaded macrame. So it's the flat knot macrame with the beads on the side, right? And it looks like this. Let me pull this down, right? So it'll be like this, that one. Then I'm going to do a plain with just the shadows. It'll kind of look like this, right? So this will be Bollywood, and this will be, I'm going to call it Kate's Favorite, because you know my Kate's Favorite bracelet that is just laddering with shadows. So, and it's just the laddering, and I'm going to do it infinity stitch. So this is going to be infinity, Kate's Fave. Okay. So here's my pattern. Okay. And I didn't start this pattern until I was kind of underway, right? So you don't have to have your pattern all laid out right to start. So let me clear this. I want everybody to just take a moment as you're watching. The weekend is coming. Let's all think some good thoughts right now. I think we could all use them. Think some good thoughts. Let's breathe in. Let's breathe out. Let's thank whatever higher power or not, or whoever you show your gratitude towards for where we are right now. And we'll just keep breathing through it, right, my friends? Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to do the same thing with you. All right. And it's really methodical, I think, to kind of have a nice repetitive task, not unlike this laddering with delicas, right? So let me go a little bit closer here so you can see this. This is this section with the fire polish. Then I started doing this laddering with the delicas. And I want to show you, I want to make sure I'm on the right side because it does make a difference. Hang on, like this. Yeah, it's this way. No, it's this way. There we go. All right, and let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see here. Okay, so I'm going to clip this end to my board right here. And I'm going to kind of clip it. This isn't going to be clipped down for very long. You can put a little bit of padding or a little bit of something there. I'm just going to clip kind of on my macrame. And I want you to take a look. This is the 11-aught, one of the 11-aught Delica mixes that we launched a few weeks ago. This one is, I'm sorry, not the, it is the 11, right? Was I using the 11? Hang on, let me make sure. Hold, please. I need to check my instructions. Hold. No, it's the 10-aught. Sorry, it is the 10-aught because I had it here in my hand. Apologies. It's this 10-aught. Okay. Which is good. That's why I'm doing the laddering this way. All right, there we go. I'm back. This one is the 10-aught Delica. This is the honey butter mix, which I love, love, love. I used 4 of these across. I'm going to zoom out a little. I used 4 of these across, and I love the look that they give. And I'm not planning any of the beads that I pick up, right? I'm just picking them up. So let's talk about doing this traditional laddering, because when we did this on the 3rd, doesn't that seem like it was a year ago? Does to me anyway. We just kind of did this part and we started this laddering. So I want to keep going here with this, and we're going to make it match this section that I just measured out, right? So we've got about this much more to do. Let me scoot that up a little bit and let me measure to see. So I've got about 3 inches more or so to ladder, okay? I am definitely going to run out of thread. So I want to show you how to change thread, how to add new thread kind of mid-ladder. And then we're going to transition to this Bollywood style right here. And thanks, JP, for putting all of the 10-aught mixes. You can certainly choose your own adventure for that. Yeah, and Carolyn, these could be, these are our bracelet rulers, right? Just keep hanging on, right? I'll put on this side, I'll write on here what it's for. This is for year-end wrap. I even am using the Mocha Mousse pen. Year-end wrap 2025. And yeah, that's that. I'm going to also write on this one, the one from before. This one was for the prairie. That's kind of a mess there. Wrap. What did I call it? Spruce, I think I called it. And that one was also, I think, 2025. Okay. So I'll have a record, of these, right? So yeah, just Robin, just make your own, right? There, we've got it. So here I'm going to do about 3 more inches. So I'm going to get another little piece of paper, or I can just put this down. I've got about 3 more inches to go. Let me cut another. Right. There we go. And I'm going to mark it on here. Is this paper? Did I do it? It's just about 3 inches. Good job. Good job, me. Great. So this is about the length that I need to do. Okay. There we go. Cut this off and cut this off. All right. So let's take a look at this is that traditional laddering. You can watch the first episode, as I said, on the 3rd. But let's get to this. I'm going to get a little tighter in here. Now, this is the micro Ceylon that I'm using to do this traditional laddering with. And what I did was I started way back there, did that macrame. Then I stiffened the ends of these threads using some Zap glue, right? So instead of having little needles on the ends, it's the Zap glue that is stiffening my threads. I'm going to have my little pile of honey butter 10-aughts. That sounds tasty, doesn't it? Like that. Now, I'm going to start from the left, but you can start from the left or the right. It doesn't matter. We're going to put these 4 on, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we cross this over, right? Like that. And we're going to slide it through. We're going to go here. We're going to go underneath. And we'll tighten. Okay, let's do that a few more times. We have these 10-aughts in a lot of different colors, this 10-aught Delica. As you know, our buddy Danielle Wicks got us started on this 10-aught journey with her mosaic cuff recipe. The mosaic cuff recipe, it's on her project. It's up on beadshop.com. The mix that she made for it was a bespoke mix that she made, but that's what prompted us to get these 10-aughts in. We've also started carrying the background color for that bracelet was just that cream, really nice cream 10-aught Delica. We've added that, we've added that into stock. And if you use a couple of tubes of those and one of the mix, you will be able to recreate that mosaic bracelet that she made. It's really a fun one. I've been wearing it around the office, and it really showcases, I think, these mixes just perfectly. Also, if you saw on our socials, Miranda put up a little poll last week, or I don't know, whenever it was, a few days ago, whenever that was, Miranda, a couple days ago. And had you folks vote about things that you wanted to see or whatever. And overwhelmingly, you folks said, what did they say, Miranda? Mixes and kits. Mixes and kits. Mixes and kits. So we heard you loud and clear. So we promise you more mixes are coming. I've also got some Tucson finds and stuff for you coming. So we've got some more things for February that are coming down the pike. I know. What kind of mixes? These 10-aught mixes, I hadn't been using Delicas a lot or lately. I love how they look. We carry them also in an 8-aught, which I love. I love to do peyote stitch with 8-aught Delicas. but I hadn't been using these Delicas lately, right? And using them now in the various projects, I've kind of been playing around with them. I have kind of found a rekindled love for these Delica beads, especially these 10-aughts. When you look at a 10-aught Delica and an 11-aught Delica side by side, in your mind, you may be thinking, oh, there's not that much difference in size. But in reality, they are. These 10-aughts are a lot larger, which is why laddering with these like this is really fun, right? It's a little delicate, right? It can be a little fussy because you're just using this thread, but it's not bad. So you can see on this side, I'm starting to run out of thread, right? So I'm going to do maybe 2 more rows, and then we'll figure out what's going on and how we want to change this thread over. All right. And I know that changing over thread strikes fear sometimes in your hearts. But don't worry, tackle it like you do everything else, with courage and determination, right? That's what we're going to do. So here's this and here's this. All right. And we go past underneath there and underneath there. I'm only going to do 1 more row because I feel like I'm playing thread chicken with this. All right. So let's see. The 10-aughts are larger, Anissa. So do I have a 10-aught? Miranda, would you just toss me an 11-aught mix? But then don't go far because you've got to take it right back. Miranda knows. She goes, if she hands anything to me, she has to take it back. Any one of the 10-aught or the 11. I have the 10-aught mix here. I just need the 11-aught Delica mix. Yeah, please, and thank you. So let's see. I didn't really have my start. That wasn't really. How many rows have I put in? I think we've got about that much more to go, I think. I can also just use my Delica ladder. Yeah, that's about right. That's about how much I've got left. Okay, so here is the 11-aught Delica right here. Okay, let me open it up. Sometimes I have trouble with these lids, so I get my plier and I really gently turn and pull kind of all at the same time. So here's the 11 in Delica. Can you see that there? Let me place that gently. Let me zoom in my hand. Okay. And here is the 10 right next to them. See how much larger they are? Those 10s? 10 over here, 11 over here. Right? Let me zoom in. See that? So they really are quite a bit larger. Okay. So now I'm going to take this little pinch of 10-aught or 11-aughts that I have here. I'm putting them back in the container and I'm handing this back to Miranda so I don't get in trouble. There you are, my friend. Thank you so much. Okay. So let me see. Janice is asking about the needles. What needles am I using? You can use sharps, and I'm going to show you sharps because we're going to do some I was going to do some infinity stitch with them. So we are going to use sharps. I was also going to show you how you could also use like a big eye needle and stuff like this. So yes. The answer to that is yes. All right. So notice how I'm running out of thread. This is where I need to finish, right here. Okay. So watch what I'm going to do. This is something that I do sometimes if I know that I don't have a lot of space. Oh, Robin Nunn says, hi, sweet Miranda.
Hi, sweet Robin.
Hi, sweet Robin. That's right. And sweet Alfred is here too.
Yeah. He's on his chair.
He is. So see, look at what I'm going to do here. See how I've turned everything around? Turning it upside down. Now, I know that I'm going to end this section about right here. So I'm going to add my thread from this side and go down, right? So let's get that micro seal-on. What color was this? This was, I'll tell you, medium brown. So pretty. I am going to maybe a wingspan-ish, so about 1.5 yards-ish. When I reel it off, see how kind of it's a little curly. So I come through, I'm going to give it a little pull like that, stretches it out just a hair, but what that stretching does is, see how I've stretched that curl out of it, which is good. All right, let me get my thread snips. Serrated end down. There we go. And this is what I did so that the ends were stiff. I'm going to get these ends, put them together, get my little baggie, get my zap, and make 2 little self needles here. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. So I've got this. I'm getting that thread right, kind of rolling it around, right, like that. And as I roll and kind of pull to squeegee off the excess, I might pull it through one more time. And I don't want them to be glued together, so I need to separate them out. Okay, and we're going to let them sit there for just a second. Now, I'm going to start my macrame from here, and I'm going to work down. Okay. So let me get my thread from behind. And these ends have already almost dried. It's about right. It's about right here. Doesn't have to be exact, but I think that's close. And I'm going to tie my first macrame knot right here. Okay. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to macrame, I don't know, not quite a 1/2 inch, right? Maybe 3/4. And this is the micro seal-on. Okay, that's what I'm using, the micro. So let me come in and I'm going to get these beads out of the way because I'm going to drop them. I know. I'm going to get this. Maybe I'll use this to kind of lift. There we go. That's good. Get this here like this. And I'm going to macrame at Kate speed. So there's 1 full square knot there. And we're going to keep going. Now, this would also work if this were going to be the end of my journey, right, with my macrame. And I was just going to tie a button loop here because this would be finished off nicely. I could just tie a knot or macrame or whatever here, but I'd leave that opening large enough for the button. Does that make sense? So turning this wrap bracelet upside down is a nice hack kind of to, to finishing off a section, especially if you have to add thread. Okay. Let me keep macrameing just a few. And I'm going from the right to the left and from the left to the right. We've got some really nice skill builders that discuss all of the macrame knots. like this and like this. Maybe I'll do one more set. And now you can see I've got about this much more for laddering. Okay. This one and this one. The Delicas, Connie, I think would look great over the top of the flat leather. Like I did, you're talking about like the one that I did in that prairie, right? And I used the 8/0. I bet you could use these 10/0 as well. Just make sure that you're using, I think, the micro. I think that the fine for this size Delica would be a little too thick. So I would use micro. But you could also use the 8/0 Delica if you wanted to as well and pop up a thread size. You just kind of have to figure out what works. Sorry, I'm having trouble dealing with my stool. Hang on. There we go. Moving that over. There we go. Sitting down. I gotta get into laddering position here. All right. Okay. So yes, I need to take my own advice. I need to breathe in, breathe out. That's right. Okay. So now let's start to ladder from here. Now, if you'll notice, let me undo this one. See how I've tapered. So I've gone 1, I've gone 2, I've gone 3, like 3 times. Then I've gone into the 4. All right. So I want to mirror that on the other side. So first we have 1, right? So let me get 1 Delica. One Delica there. And we're going to put that traditional laddering going through the left hand and the right hand side, like so. Yeah, and the zap has really dried nicely on these needles. So we're in good shape. Right? So I pull it down like this and I pop my threads underneath. Okay, and I pull that to the left and I pull that to the right. Now we're going to put on a row of 2. Okay, so there that is. That's nestled right in there. Can you see it? Karen K, that's a great question. I mean, sometimes I get confused about what beads to use in what project, right? My advice to you is to try out what you like, because that's really kind of what it all comes down to. You can also shoot us an email over at info@beadshop.com. I can answer it, or I'll pass it over to JP. You know, like if you're like, I'm going to do this, which bead should I use? Don't hesitate. Just shoot us an email. We're only on the other side of the email, right? And Ramona, yes, I also love the 8/0 Miyukis because the hole is so large on them. And yes, for aging eyes like mine, they go pretty quickly. I agree. So, but there is a big difference, like I showed you, between these 10 and these 11/0. So here are 2 of these. We'll put 2 on now. Okay. And then I kind of hold my finger under them. I'm going to get the right hand side and slide it through the tunnel going the opposite way. And for 2, I also just have a single row like this. Okay. Like that. Like that. And like that. There we go. And tighten. Okay, can you see this? I go in a little tighter. So now I've got rows of 3. I've got 3 rows of 3. So, and I usually try and start from the same side, but it doesn't really matter. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Whoops, 3. I said on there. And I'm going to come in from the opposite end, right? And we're going to slide these on. This style of laddering, this traditional laddering style, takes a little more patience, right? It's a little slower. It's a little more meditative. But be in the moment, right? Let your mind focus on the pulling of the threads through the tunnel of the beads, underneath the leather, right? Just be in the now with this project. There we go. I wish I could stay on air all day with you, ladies and gents and folks, and bead all day because it feels super cozy, but I'll keep going on this. Now, we're also going to turn around. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on this side. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going. I've got one more row of the 3, and then we'll pop up to the 4. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Okay? So let's get this. I need 3 more. It doesn't matter what order I'm putting them on. There's 2. There's 3. Through this side. Back through this. And this away. So now we've tapered up to our 4 size 10 delicas. Okay. So let me get the 4 on there. So you can see how that taper, it just gives it a nice gradual taper. Okay. Just a nice gradual taper. You don't have to have this many 3 in length, right? Rows of 3, but I just thought it made a nice taper for it. So you do you on this. Okay, so here's this, and I'm going to go through. And then we'll need, I don't know how many more rows, 10, 15 more rows or something. I'm not going to do the whole thing here because I want to show you how I'm going to start this Bollywood section. But I'm going to talk you through switching these threads over. Okay, and bring it underneath here. And as I ladder and continue on to make these 2 kind of meet, right? Like the train tracks from the west and the train tracks from the east, right? They meet. Where did they meet? When the trains met? What was it called? Someone will tell me. No, you know, it was that where they drove the Golden Spike.
Oh,
where was that? Utah. Yeah, I know, somewhere in Utah, but I can't remember what it's called. Someone will shout out.
Union Station? I don't know.
No, it was a big thing. They drove the Golden Spike, and the east met the west. Same thing like this.
Probably Salt Lake City.
Yeah. No, it had like a funny name. It'll come to me. Anyway, pardon me. We're going to keep going. And as my western train tracks meet my eastern train tracks, what I'm going to do here is with this end, because I'll have enough room, I'm going to come in and I'm going to weave. It's a little bit out of my focal range, but I'm going to weave my, there it goes. See this? How one of these is going to go through here. You may want to put a little bit of a needle on the end. But see how this weaves through. You can even not have it go all the way through. Just like that. Just like we were weaving through Promontory. Thank you. Promontory, Utah. That was it. Thank you. I knew it had like a name, right? So see here how this is tightened, right? So I'm going to weave this as if it was a seed bead project, right? I'm not going to weave it out here, okay, around the sides. I'm just going to take this end, right? And now maybe I'll weave it back through a few more, back through a few more there, back through a few more there. I'll take this long one, weave it in. So I'll weave all 4 of these in and around this area, right? And as I pull like the last couple of bits through, I'll put a little bit of GS Hypo cement right there. And as I pull it through to tighten, the thread will be glued on the inside of these beads, and then I'll cut it away. I hope that makes sense, right? Okay. Back and forth, back and forth. So that's how I do it, right? I would just weave it in as if this were a seed bead project, right? And exactly, the side threads won't show on the leather. Exactly. And since these delicas have such big holes, since they're size 10, they're so big that it'll be easy to weave in. Okay, I hope that makes sense, right? So now let me zoom out and let me show you how I'd start up again over here on this end. Okay, let me zoom out. Well, thank you, Margaret Sloan. Sometimes I know what I'm doing. Sometimes. Not all the time. Oh, Alfred is so funny. You guys, right? He's over there sitting right by Miranda. He's right there.
It's because I turned that off.
Yeah, he's right. Maybe I'll show you at the end. Yeah, he wants to sit in front of the heater.
Don't touch.
Yeah, do not touch that heater, boy. Do not. I'm going to turn this back around. Oh, yeah, he loves the heater.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he's so happy. So we're going to start from here. I'm going to move all this back. I really want to finish this, though, before I start over here, right? But it is true. He adores Miranda. He loves his Papa Kitty. Chris and Alfred are like,
Package deal.
Yeah, they are a package deal, right? These beads do kind of look like a calico cat, don't they? They're kind of calico, right? For sure. So now this is all going to be done, right? And now I'm going to start on this Bollywood section of this, right? And this is going to be my last section here. So I'm going to do a portion of this Bollywood, and then I'm going to do the Kate's favorite. I'll do the infinity stitch, right, with the shadows. All right, so it'll look like this, but instead of being 6/0, it'll be shadows. Okay. So let's do though this section here, and we have some choices to make. Okay, right here. Let me zoom in on this so you can see it. Since this collection or this this sample is called Mocha Mousse, I am going to put my shadow beads across from each other so I have the leather peeking through. I want that leather to show. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Oh, okay. Let me just make sure that this is clear because there's a couple of other questions about that. So let me show you about this for you, Kelly, and for you, Mary. So this is going to be laddered here, right? Ladder, 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 so that the 2 ladder sides meet, right? So let's pretend here's my 2 pieces that were from this section up here. And here are my 2 pieces where my beaded section would be up here. Okay, like that. So I will weave it in, right? So this is nice and tight there. And then I'll take that end from that same one, weave it maybe through 2 there and maybe through 2 above, and this one I'll cut away. Okay. This one from here, maybe I'll weave it like from this side, 1, 2, 3, this away. So see, I'll go here, I'll get my finger underneath it. I'll put my thread through. And since I'm not going through all of the beads, right, it'll just pop out. Maybe it'll pop out, see, next to that white bead. See that there? Right? And then I'll take that one. So these 2 threads will weave up in here. These 2 threads, my old threads from the old train tracks over here, will do the same thing, but it'll go down towards these beads. So there'll be beads there, and I'll go through maybe halfway with this one, through maybe halfway with this one, cross back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So there will be weaving of tail ends about 2, 4, 5, about 4 or 5 rows up and about 4 or 5 rows down. I hope that's clear. I hope so, right? So yeah. So Mary, then to answer that question is I weave each thread, the threads that were coming from here, I weave them to the old section, and the threads coming from the old section, I weave them down to the new section. Okay, good. Okay, great. Perf. Okay, so now let's start this Bollywood section right here. We've got a nice clean end here. So what I'm going to do is, and you could change threads here if you wanted, right? But I'm just going to keep going with the same thread. I want the same thread. And I could, Kelly, I could knot them. I assume you mean knot instead of knit. I'm guessing that, right? But I don't want any of those knots and stuff to show, because the thing about the delicas is that they are like little squared off tubes. So there's not a lot of extra space in there. So anytime when it's knotted, it's going to show a little bit. And I think if it's woven back far enough and back far enough here, and the last time you pass it through, you add a little bit of glue, you're going to be fine. Okay? You're going to be fine. So let me cut a new length, maybe another wingspan-ish, maybe about 1.5 yards of the micro Ceylon in medium brown. And I am just going to pick up where I left off. Let me get this white piece of paper underneath so you can really see that. I'm just going to pick up where I left off here with the macrame. Okay, so I go underneath, I center myself, right?
Internally.
Yeah, I do. I center myself internally and my thread, and I'm going to give myself a few macrame knots. Now, I'm not trying to make the new macrame that I'm making kind of match up to the old macrame. It doesn't even really matter. What you could do, and maybe I'll do this. I haven't gone that far. I do have some of the extra Pony Express. Why don't I put a Pony Express bead right there just for fun? Let's do that. I'm going to have to unpin or unclip, but that's all right. I've got some left over. The 1 millimeter goes in doubled beautifully. I need to kind of maybe just open this up, pop that bead past my knot. Yes. I like that. That makes sense to me, right? Like it. And it just makes a nice transitional space there. Let me zoom in a little tighter there. So now it doesn't matter which, which side I'm starting my macrame. I'm going to do, I don't know, a few knots just to give myself a little bit of a leader here. If when you tie your second macrame knot, if your first macrame knot, inevitably it loosens. So tie your knot kind of close, tighten the first one, and then jump in real fast and tie that second one. Okay? Sorry, that's out of focus. I'm having trouble keeping this focused. There we go. There it is on that side. So now you've seen that, so I'm going to get rid of that paper because it's also kind of impeding my progress here. Now I've got these clipped up kind of high. You can also, if you want, put that little spool underneath. It'll help you get underneath this leather too. Okay. So let me do a couple more. And now we're going to add the shadow beads. Okay. So what I do is I'm going to take this side. I'm going to go back down. And let me get my beads. I think this is what I used. I think they were all sitting here together. So I think it's I was using the shadows in copper plate. So I actually need to get the right beads. Hang on. I had a feeling those were wrong. Hold the phone. Take a look at that. It wasn't the little shadows in copper or in brass. It was regular shadows, copper plate. And I bet they're sitting over here. Hang on. Yes, I see them. I grabbed the wrong beads. I'm like, I'm doing all this in copper. But you could do them in any color, right? It doesn't matter. But here they are. Regular shadows. You can also use little shadows. That's what I had picked up because this thread is small, but it makes no difference. You decide what you like to do. Okay. So here it is. Okay. So on this side, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to count 10 maybe. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 12. Okay. I'm going to keep them between my fingers like this. And I'm going to put my thread through. Let's see if I can get it through. I got them through 10. Not too bad. There we go. And this last one, number 12, I'm going to kind of tie a knot here at the end. I'll be able to take the knot out later, but I want it to be a stopper. This will be the last one that I put on so that these don't fall off that side. Okay. So now, let me zoom in just a little bit more. I'll get my 12 for the other side. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Keep them between my fingers if I can. Pull them out. Oh, thank you, Susan. My nails are a mess right now, but thank you. I'm really, really trying to make the effort to have my hands not look so downtrodden. But, I've got working hands, so...
Can we show mine so you feel better?
Right.
That's the worst thing ever.
Oh, well, I've got some really nice nail polishes that I need to fancy up my fingers with. I'm going to go through once. I'm going to go through twice. There we go. Okay. And let me get this out of the way. So now I am ready I'm going to slide these in. Now, since I'm using the big shadows like this, let me center this in. I'm going to show you a nice, this will show a nice amount of leather is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So let's go ahead, straighten this out and keep going. So here's this. Okay. And I just want to make sure that these are sitting correctly. See how that one kind of pulled down a little bit. So there we go. So see how nice that looks, real nice like that. So I need to decide how many just plain stitches I want in between. So let's take a look. There's one. And see, I'm just sliding. This just slides through. And the beads just slide through. They're not going anywhere. Okay. So there's two. Here's three. I think I want them about this length that's here. Let me get a little tighter in here. There we are. That's good. Yeah, it always said that the late Queen Elizabeth, she always had, I think her nail color was like that ballerina pink, you know, that pink, kind of nude pink color. That's also a big color for Sarah Jessica Parker. Also one of my sartorial heroines. I can't wait till their next season of their show comes up. I follow them on Insta, and they've been showing some fashions from the show because SJP and I are about almost exactly the same age. So I'm like, yes, SJP is wearing all kinds of crazy stuff, and all that's right. I can't wait to wear like cool and I don't know, whatever. It's going to be, the fashions are going to be awesome, right? So here's one. So that looks about right. So that is, let me count here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 10, right? And I'm talking about And Just Like That, not actually Sex and the City, because it's no longer Sex and the City. It's And Just Like That, the reboot. But if you haven't watched it, it's so good. The clothing is, they've outdone themselves on these seasons. They look great. So now we're going to come in, we're going to slide these up, and there we are, just like that, right? And we'll do 5 more. And I think visually the balance of these, the large shadows and the little bit of extra space there, I think really works for me. And what did I say? A total of 10 half hitches or 5 going all the way through. So let me do 5 more, and then we're going to take a look at this. We'll measure. We'll probably do one more segment on this, to be honest, because I got a boogie here in a minute. And this weekend we're going to rest, right? I want everyone this weekend. I want you to rest. I want you to get your beads out or whatever craft you're doing, whatever, but just spend a little time meditating on your craft with your hands, right? Breathe in, breathe out, and focus on everything that's calming and good, right? Because darn it, that's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Tomorrow I'm actually going to the Heritage Quilt Show, I think, here in Fresno, and that's our African American Quilt Guild that we have here in Fresno. It's going to be super awesome. I can't wait to see all the quilts and stuff. And we have some of those ladies in our Fiber Arts Guild, ladies and gentlemen both. We have those folks in our Fiber Arts Guild here in Fresno as well. But the Heritage Quilt group. It's going to be a great show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. So now I'll just continue on. I have 12 more. So these two, let's measure. Let me do a little bit of math here to figure out if I'm going to replicate this 6 more times. This is about 1.5 inches. Well, let's say this is 1 inch, just for argument's sake, right? And so what do I do? I've got 6 sections. So what is that? Someone help me out. 12. So it's 6 inches, right? 2 per inch. There'll be 6 more inches. So it'll give me about this length here, give or take, which is, let's see. If I hold it up here, yeah, it's a little over with the infinity stitch, but not bad, right? Here. So then I'm going to finish this off with a little bit of the infinity stitch here. So instead of maybe, and I'll measure as I go down, instead of maybe 12, maybe I'll just do 10 or 5 repeats of this. I'm not sure. Whatever this kind of turns out to be, because I want a nice section of that, just the plain shadows here at the very end. Okay. So that's that. All right. So, yeah. And Janice was also recommending, if you're doing this kind of weaving back in, you could use that Sharps needle on the end. And like I talked about that earlier when we were talking about it, you could put a needle on the end and do that as well. So let's take a look. I'm going to zoom out here. Maybe we'll take this up next free tip and finish it on next week's Free Tip Friday. We'll see. So what I've got here is that beginning, that section here. We're getting this laddered section here. Now we're going to get this Bollywood section. And I think in between, when I transition to the Kate's Favorite section, I'm going to put another one of those Pony Express beads right there too. Okay. But it really will tell me I need to ladder a bit and then use because some of my stitches may be tighter, some may be looser, but I'll use this section as my measurement. Okay. So hopefully, my friends, that is helpful to you. Let me, pardon me, let me remind you that we do have the 10% off on all of our 1mm leather. That is good only today. Pardon me, sorry. Let me get some coffee before I go any further. If you're watching me today live, it is Friday, February 7th, and that 10% markdown will be good until midnight tonight. Also, remember, in about an hour and a half, I'm going to be back on to do a quick live talking about my upcoming France retreat. There's still space. We've got a couple spots left. And if you're thinking about going, I'm going to be talking about it in our next live. I'd love to see you there. If you are not wanting to fly overseas to retreat with me, you can retreat with Janice and I and some other friends starting in August. Save the date. We've added a spare day to our retreat. So instead of it being Friday through Monday, it's going to be a Friday through Tuesday. And sign up information, my friends, is going to be coming on that soon. Okay. So that is what I've got for you today. Thank you so much, so much for joining me on this Free Tip Friday. I hope it was relaxing. I hope it gave you some inspiration, but I want to hear from you folks how you're doing with with your creative weekend. I'm going to ask you next Wednesday on the live, and I want to know what you did to boost your creativity this upcoming weekend. I will be posting some pictures on my social of some of my creative endeavors this weekend. You can follow it over at Bead Kate, my Insta there. It'll be there. And you can jump on and see what I'm doing to get in touch with my creativity and rest my mind mentally this weekend. I want you to rest your mind mentally and stay creative, stay fun, stay safe, stay motivated, and I will see you next week, my friends. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend, all. Bye-bye.